Although we covered this in many ways in the previous lecture about researching for the street art project, I wanted to review with you what your works cited should look like and what good source evaluations look like. First of all, don't forget you want to have the two pictures in your post, one of the art, one that shows you were there. So you notice in mine, there's the art, and I've got some pictures that show I was there. And then below that, you're going to have your works cited. And we've, as I said, looked at this before. But what I want to remind you of is that your works cited should have a properly formatted MLA citation. You can use the library MLA page as a guide there. I provided samples in the research lecture, but you can also find the library MLA page on our course homepage. You're going to notice that there's a live link to the source so the reader can go check that. That's a really cool thing we can do when we write online. You'll also find that I put another link in there to the writer, so it backed up my claims of authority. Let's remember what I did for each annotation, each evaluation. I said first, I examined the currency. I examined the authority, how credible is the author. I examined the use of supplemental resources like footnotes, works cited, and any other kind of framing research. And 4, I talked about attempts to address bias that are inherent in the structure of the piece. Finally, remember, really important, you want to make sure that for each piece you look at, you tell us how either you used it in your write-up, or if you didn't use it in your write-up, what kind of background, what kind of useful background it provides for the reader. So here you'll see I didn't really cite this piece in the actual paragraph I wrote, but I felt like I wanted to include it because it provided useful background. However, if you go here, this is a source I did use, and when I talk about it, I explain that this article is useful because it gives background to the civil rights movement. So this was an example of a source I did use, and I explained how I use it. And this earlier example is one that I didn't actually quote, but I think is useful for the reader. So that's what we want to make sure we have in each of our citations, our evaluations of our sources. We want to have a correct MLA citation. We want to have a live link to the source. We want to look at our 4 evaluation criteria, and we want to have a sentence that tells the reader, 1, either how we used it in our paragraph, or 2, how the reader could use it for background. Hope that helps. See you in Blackboard.